and welcome back to Catholic Mom and Daughter. I'm Jennifer with my daughter Kate, and today we're exploring ways that you can celebrate the Golden Nights of Advent, which are also called the O Antiphons.
So the O Antiphons run during the last days of Advent. They start on December 17th and run to the 23rd. And so today we're going to be talking about what they are and how they're a fun way to celebrate the last part of the Advent season with your family.
So we've got a few very simple, easy ways to incorporate them into your Advent celebrations, but then we'll also have some add-on activities if you want to get fancier with your celebrations, but simple always works. So let's get started.
Alright, so getting started, what is an antiphon? Well, if you've been to Mass recently, you will have heard one. They come up at various places in the Mass, like the entrance antiphon or the communion antiphon, and they're basically just passages from the Bible that are given to us to meditate on.
And the antiphons that you hear at Mass change daily depending on the church season or whether or not it's a feast day or a holy day. So those are called parts of the Mass that fall into the propers, and that means that they change. So there are other parts of the Mass called the ordinary, and those do not change. That would be something like the Creed or the Gloria. We don't have a different creed for different times of the church year, so the Creed falls into the ordinary.
And usually they come to us from the book of Psalms, but the O Antiphons come specifically from the book of Isaiah.
So in the book of Isaiah, there are different titles given to the coming Messiah, and each of those titles starts with the word O. So that's where we get the O antiphon, like O King, O Radiant Dawn, that type of thing. So the O antiphons are said during the evening in Advent, during Vespers, which is part of the Liturgy of the Hours. So there are 7 different titles for Jesus that we get from the book of Isaiah, and sometimes you'll see them written out in Latin, sometimes in English, but we're just going to run through all 7 titles for you now in English. The first title is O Wisdom.
The second is O Lord.
Then O Root of Jesse.
O Key of David.
O Rising Sun.
O King of the Nations.
And the last one is God with us. O Come Emmanuel. So if that sounds complicated, it's really not, and I have news for you. You already know the O Antiphons because they have all been put together in a group to form a song that you know, and that is O Come Emmanuel.
And so you could just, print these out and put them on your refrigerator and say them every day, or you could do them before bed or at dinner time, whatever you want. They're really easy to fit into your day. And while that seems like a really simple thing just to read them or sing them every day, it's actually a very powerful form of prayer, saying them and meditating on them, pondering what they mean.
You could even have your children write them out in their very best handwriting and make them into like a little O Antiphon booklet. But one of the really cool things about the O Antiphons is that if you list their titles in Latin, starting with the last day, December 23rd, and going all the way down to December 17th, the first letter of each word, when you put them together, it spells a Latin phrase, which is ero cras, and that means tomorrow I come. And tomorrow meaning December 24th, which is the vigil of the Nativity of the Lord. So that's super cool.
And you could also, spice things up a little bit. You don't just have to read the verses every single day. You could read them and then have a treat. You could do a different activity with your kids. And it just makes it a really fun week because they're already really hyper for Christmas anyway.
Yeah, you can definitely have a lot of fun with this. Or if that seems too overwhelming, just keep it simple and sing or say the verses at dinner every night. Okay, so what are some of the extra activities that you can do each night to make the O Antiphons more meaningful? Well, you can definitely make or buy an ornament for each night of the O Antiphons. So I have all my ornaments in this little packet of envelopes that I use year after year. This is the envelope for December 23rd, and in it I have the verse for the day, O Come Emmanuel, and I also have an ornament that shows little baby Jesus that we will put on the tree that night. The pattern for this ornament came from the Family Formation Program from St. Paul's in Minnesota, and we've talked about that program before, so I'll leave a link for it down below. But you can also buy O Antiphon ornaments. I've seen them on Etsy, some really beautiful ones, but we just like our homemade ones, so we're sticking with those.
Or you could also do something similar to that and have an O Antiphon house. So we got the wooden house at Hobby Lobby and painted it so it was a little more fancy. And then from a swap, we got the blocks for the O Antiphons. And so it just has one for every day. It has a picture and the Latin on the front and then the English on the back. So that's just another simple thing that you could do every single day during the O Antiphons.
So we start off on December 17th with the house empty, and we add a block each night. But I want to say that this idea and this did not come in the same year. This developed over time, so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to go out and buy all this stuff and do all this stuff to celebrate the O Antiphons. You don't have to. You can just keep it simple and it's still meaningful and beautiful. So there are so many fun things that you can do each night, and for a long time I was super into it. I was trying to be really creative every year and find new and different things for every night of the O Antiphons year after year. But then after a while I realized that, you know what, the kids don't always enjoy every new and fun activity. There are some activities that they just like. So after a while I started paring it down, and now I'm at the point where we just do the same activities every night. And since we only do them once a year, they're exciting when they come around, and also I'm not making myself crazy trying to be super creative every year or spending a lot of money or a lot of time trying to make the O Antiphons, super exciting, thing. So this system has worked really well for us.
So we'll talk you through right now what we do every single night. Hopefully you can get some ideas off of that, or you could obviously come up with your own traditions, but really the O Antiphons in essence are a beautiful reflection for the last nights of Advent.
Yes, they can definitely just stand alone. Okay, here we go. December 17th, the first night of the O Antiphons, and the title of the coming Messiah is O Wisdom. So on that night, what I usually do is try to buy a book that will add to our Catholic library at home. So this year our book is Holy Hacks, Everyday Ways to Live Your Faith and Get to Heaven by Patty Armstrong. So I'm sorry, Kate, it's not a surprise this year. But this book has different categories like humility or prayer, and it gives you little ways that you can improve in those areas. So looking at it, looks like it's going to be really good.
So December 18th, the next night, is O Adonai, which is O Lord of Hosts, or ruler of the house of Israel. So for this one, if you do the reading for it, it refers to Moses and the burning bush. So you could have a fun night and you could roast marshmallows for that one. Or if you want to go a little bit more with the ruler of the house, you could make a gingerbread house, which is also really fun.
Yeah, we've done both, right? We've even been known to roast marshmallows on the stove if the weather hasn't cooperated.
Don't judge.
Yeah, don't judge, no judgment. It works, still delicious. But I think December 19th, the title is O Root of Jesse. So that's a no-brainer at our house. We always have a root beer theme that night. I either buy root beer candy and put it out in a dish that evening, or we have root beer with dinner, which is a huge treat because we never have soda with dinner. So I usually look around and try to find like really fun bottles, different flavors sometimes, and it's always a big hit.
And then for December 20th, it's O Key of David, and traditionally the monk who was in charge of the wine cellar would open it up and bring out a bottle of wine. We don't actually do that, but we instead have like sparkling grape juice or cider or something non-alcoholic.
Yeah, non-alcoholic, best for the little kids. But it's still fun because we don't have that all the time either. December 21st, you see the title sometimes two different ways. It can be O Rising Sun or O Radiant Dawn. So we like to play up the light aspect of this antiphon. That's the night we'll pile into the car, get ice cream, and then drive around and look at all the Christmas lights. And this year, I'm excited because there's a special thing happening in the nighttime sky all week, and that is that Saturn and Jupiter are going to be closely aligned together and form a really bright star in the sky that's reminiscent of the Christmas star.
And this will be the closest they have been together since 1226. So yeah, that's a really long time.
Yeah.
And they'll be pretty low on the western horizon, and you can see them probably fairly well about 45 minutes after sunset.
Supposedly it should be visible for most of the week, but we'll link an article down below that will have more information about this for you.
So the next night, December 22nd, is O King of Nations, and we sometimes have turkey a la king for dinner on this night, or sometimes we make a king's cake for dessert.
Then December 23rd is the last night, O Come, Emmanuel. So in our family, we love to do puzzles, so I usually look for a new nativity puzzle to do for that night. Sometimes I will buy the puzzle and we'll start it right away. Sometimes we'll save it to start at the beginning of Advent for the next year. Sometimes I can't find a nativity puzzle that I really like, and so I have a fallback for this day, and that is to buy fresh bagels, because that's a big treat at our house, and the bagels are O-shaped, and that's O Antiphon, right? O come, Emmanuel.
All right, so that is it. That is the Golden Nights made easy. Those are some ideas for how you can celebrate them, but really they are a beautiful tradition to end Advent with.
So we hope we've given you some ideas. Remember, it's not bad to keep it simple, start small, or just concentrate on the verses. Maybe you can add other traditions in over the years or not. It's just up to you. But we're so glad you joined us today, and we hope the end of your Advent is a very blessed and peaceful time.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.